official like a referee with a whistle. So like and share this episode. You know? It's a late nighter. If you're on the East Coast, it's just after 10. If you're on the West Coast, it's just after 7. If you're on the eastern part of the world, it's 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So, hey, it just depends on where you at. Okay. On the eastern side of the world, it's a 12 to 13 hour time difference. But I'm here on the East Coast. You know, they say East Coast is the best coast. That's where I reside. Eastern time zone, anyway. But hey, you know, what's going on in this crazy, beautiful world? Marcus! Salute to Marcus. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, Marcus. You still out here. You still out cheer. Cheer. Oh, I've been fantastic, man. Fantastic. Hey, I got a new book. Man. It's already a bestseller. I've been fantastic. Amazon.com. Representing. You know, representing, man. Still out here, man. But I've been good, man. Yep, new book. Love at First Click on Amazon.com. And boy, you gotta have some trolls in here, boy. You gotta, you know. But I've been good, man. You know. But yeah, I just want to come on and talk about the Karmelo Anthony story. You know, this type of stuff could happen to anybody. Really. Unfortunately, we don't live in a fair world where everything is fair and just. So shit happens. And look, and I always say, I've been saying in the previous video that a lot of these old people ain't worth a damn. A lot of these old people ain't worth a damn. And see, when it comes to the old people today, a lot of old people today are kind of out of touch with what's really going on out here. You know what I'm saying? And you saw this during the pandemic with a lot of these old people. When I say old people, I'm talking like from the age of 56 to 70. That age bracket, a lot of them people are kind of out of touch with what's really going on out here in today's climate. A lot of old people today, they ain't worth a damn. I'm just being honest. You know, wasn't always like that, but that's just what it is. You know, the guy I buy a Coke from told me to tell you, yes, we have the same dealer. No, I never use drugs, so that's not me. You mix up with somebody else. Nah, player. You know, you got me mixed up. This is the wrong channel, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah. Just say no. You know. Just say no. But yeah, a lot of old people they're kind of out of touch with what's really going on in today's climate. A lot of old people make excuses for people being mistreated. They'll justify anything, even with evidence, even with if something is clear as day, video, evidence, paperwork, they'll still justify it and say, oh, he went too far. I mean, how do you measure when someone goes too far? You know, so you can't win with people. I learned a long time ago that I learned this when I was in my 20s, the hard way. You just can't win with people. Somebody always going to have something to say. And you can't live your life for other people, by the way. People are always going to talk shit, always going to have something to say. But when I leave the house, you know what my goal is? When I leave the house, my goal is to make it back home by any means necessary. And I don't give a damn about what anybody says. My goal is to make it back home by any means necessary. Period. And whatever happens, whatever goes, I just had to deal with it. And I've had situations in the past where I had to deal with certain things, and I dealt with it. And I'm still here to talk about it. So it's not like, you know, it's not like it's something new that just started happening. My dad told me about this. My dad told me about this when I was a teenager. I remember one time I went to school, and some kid was picking on me, right? And I was on the bus, and some kid hit me in the back of my head, and I didn't know who it was, right? And they did it again, a second time, and I figured out who it was the second time. So I looked back, and I was like, "Hey, you do that shit again, I'm punching. If you do that again, I'm gonna punch him in the mouth." Right? And then the person beside me was like, "Oh, no, don't do it, bro. Just let him. We about to get off anyway, right?" So I gave him a pass, right? So I went home and told my dad what happened to me, and he was like, "Look, I can probably bet you that same guy is not going to leave you alone until you show him that you ain't no punk, right?" And probably a couple days later, same thing, same scenario. You know what I'm saying? I got on the bus, dude hit me in the back of the head, and at this point, I'm tired. I'm tired of the bullshit. So I punched him in the mouth. Bam! Right? And then the bus driver was like, hey, you need to come up to the front, right? And I was like, all right, cool. I'm tired of this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then he went back home. When he got home, you know what he did? He went home, told his grandfather what happened. And his grandfather knows my parents, and they ended up calling the house, and they came over to our house. He came over to our house with his grandfather, and we squashed it, and he never messed with me ever again. You know what I'm saying? And now some people will say, well, just walk away. Bro, you're not going to be able to walk away from everything. That's just reality. Some shit, I've tried to walk away in certain situations. You know what happened? They kept following me. I tried to walk away a couple times, bro. They kept following me, bro. You can't walk. Look, I don't think you understand. I don't think a lot of old people understand what kind of people we dealing with out here. You dealing with some uncivilized mutts, degenerates out here. These people are uncivilized. These people aren't. Some people ain't gonna listen to what you have to say. You can't walk away from everything. I wish you could. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it might not work out that way. And you might have to pull it back and comb somebody's hair. You know what I'm saying? That's just a reality. But my goal is to make it back home by any means necessary. That's my goal. When I get in the car, because see, my dad told me this when I was about 17, because that's when I got my license. I got my license late, right? He was like, look, when you go outside, nobody gives a damn about you out there. In this house, we love you here. We care about you here. We want the best for you here. But when you walk out that door and get in that car, or get on your bicycle, or go down the street or wherever you go, the people on the highway don't give a damn about you. And never forget that. They don't know you from a can of paint. Even if they know you, they still might not give a damn about you. You know? Because if they see you on the side of the road and the car broke down, most people gonna keep going. They'll blow the horn, bam, bam, and they'll haul ass. Only a small percentage of people are gonna stop and see if you're okay, if your car broken down. So he's like, when you leave the house, remember, nobody gives a damn about you out there. And he said, always remember that. There's no love on the highway. There's no love out in the streets. It don't exist. If you're at a football game or some type of event, nobody gives a damn about you unless they know you, unless they respect you. Otherwise, forget about it. And I've never forget that speech that my father told me that day. I never forgot about it. And turns out he was right. He was right. Because something happened after that. And I had to do what I had to do. Well, it was a group of us. We had to do what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever got jumped before. But we got jumped. It was 4 of us against 10 of them at a nightclub. So, if alcohol and people getting high in the nightclub, you pretty much know how that shit can go. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it got started, but all I know is this. We came in that club together and we left together. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It happens, man. Things happen out here. See, it's real life. Things that happen in real life, you have to know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no internet shit. People on the internet just game goofy. You know what I'm saying? They don't just trolling and game goofy and nerds. You know, these people are wasting their life. They're time wasters. That's why I don't pay most of these people no mind online with the comments. They're time wasters. These people are distractions. But in real life, you're gonna have to handle shit on your own in most cases. You can't depend on no police. That's gonna take too long. That's gonna take too long. In most cases. And if you call the police, hell, the police might be on they might give the other people the benefit of the doubt. The police might show up, put the cuffs on you, and you made the call. So shit, I ain't never called no cops. Ever. unless I had an accident. If I need a accident report, that's it. But as far as me calling the cops for like some personal business, never, never, never. I never called the police for an argument with a woman or some domestic abuse. Never. I never needed them. Because I look at it like this. If I have to call the cops on whatever I have going on, I need to check myself. I really need to check myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm really slacking. If I need the cops to show up, to take care of what I got going on at my house or out in public, or regardless of where I'm at, I really need to fall back and really assess what I'm doing and who I'm hanging around. If I need some backup for some third party person that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's, you know. Like, for real, for real. Yeah, but in real life, yeah. And see, the thing is, most guys are cowards. That's, well, you have to always remember that. Most guys are cowards, just in general. Most guys, they get punked out on their jobs. They get punked out on their jobs. They get punked out at home with their wife or their girlfriend, or then the boss at work punked them out. They kiss ass. So most guys are already cowards already. They're already cowards already. Most guys are cowards. Most guys that I know are cowards. They are. Ain't too many guys behind me today that I respect. Ain't too many. You know, it ain't. It really ain't. You know, it's a different time today. You know, so whenever a guy has to stand up to any type of mistreatment, you should already know that most guys are going to be against you. Most guys are going to say something negative towards you or have a negative opinion toward what you did. That's just, it is what it is. You should expect that. Because most guys are cowards. And women ain't no better. The women ain't no better either today. They're cowards too. She might be a woman, she's still a coward. And I'm not saying a woman is expected to throw them things and she has to. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's the mentality. That's the problem out here today. That's the problem out here. There's the way people think. You know, there's certain people that feel like certain people shouldn't do certain things. I'm like, what? You know, there's people today that think if they hit somebody, they feel like the other person should never hit them back. Are you crazy? No, it don't work like that. If you hit somebody, you should expect to get hit back. But there's a lot of people that are they're just not logical. They don't care about no laws. They don't care about no rules. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just want to be able to do what they want to do with no consequences. And in real life, it doesn't work that way. Everybody ain't going to put up with that. Everybody's not going to put up with that. And everything's corrupt out here. Everything's corrupt. Everything's corrupt. Name any department, is corrupt. Everything's corrupt. Nothing is the way they say it really is. Damn near everything can be manipulated, online or offline. You pick any area of activity, I can tell you about it. I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about a lot. Everything can be manipulated. The court system can be manipulated. The job stuff on the jobs can be manipulated. People can be manipulated. The banking system can be manipulated. Everything's corrupt. And see, when people know that everything is corrupt, there's a certain group of people that's going to take things into their own hands. Because they're gonna be like, well, shit, I ain't gonna get no justice with these damn fools. So I might as well take things in my own hands. Get what some people call street justice. Some people call it street justice. And see, there's a lot of people in this country. They don't want things to be. They don't want no justice. They don't want things to be fair and balanced, like Fox News. No, they like it the way it is. They like when people get railroaded. Yeah, they like it that way. That's how they like it. They like it that way. They don't care. They like when a good kid or a good man or a good woman gets railroaded for something that they know that they didn't do. They like it that way. Yeah, they ain't got a problem when an innocent person goes to jail at all. They like it that way. A lot of people look at it like, hey, that's how it's supposed to go. That's how people like you supposed to get treated. There's a lot of people that have that mentality here in the United States of America. There's people that come from other countries think just like that. And everybody, and a lot of these other people from these other countries, they go along with it. They go along to get along, even though they know it's some BS, but they go along with it anyway. There's there's millions of people that think like that. You work with people that think like that. But hey, they don't care. They'll be like, oh, if they don't like you, I don't like you either. It's that it's the sheep mentality. So this is why I never get caught up, because I understand the mentality of people. I understand the mentality. I learned this shit when I was in my 20s. That's why I stayed 2 to 5 steps ahead of the game. That's why I never get caught off guard. I already know what time it is. And I'm one of those guys, I've traveled worldwide. I've been everywhere. I've been places where people dream of going. Your dream vacation, I've probably been there 5, 6, 7, 10 times. So I know the mentality of most people. I know where they came from. They might have came from the slums of Europe, Asia, Africa. I know, I understand the mentality. I've been there. Most people come from struggle wherever they came from when they come over here. They ain't coming from a lap of luxury moving over here. Nobody's going to leave all their riches and come over here. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So anybody that said, oh, I'm a prince, I'm Princess Zamunda from Nigeria, man, please. Man, please. You Princess Zamunda in New York driving an Uber. Get out of here. Come on, man. Go play bingo. Don't play me, man. I know what time it is out here. So you can't fool me. You can fool some other people. So you got to outsmart these fools. So that's why, people can say what they want to say. But at the end of the day, you got to live your life. And people are always going to have. If people aren't, let me tell you something else my dad told me. If people aren't talking about you, you ain't doing much. People head up, not down. So if ain't nobody hating on you, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing enough. You just a jag, just another guy. You just another gal, just another girl. You ain't doing enough. That's why you get along with everybody. That's why you don't got no problem with nobody. Is you ain't doing nothing. You just a regular person. That's it. That's why you get along with everybody and kiss ass at that job. Because you ain't worth nothing. And you can't even help your family at the end of the day. You're not even helping your kids at the end of the day, if you got them. And even when you have kids, you ain't going to be able to tell your kids nothing. Because you're not doing nothing now. You're not making plans now. You're not making best of your time now. So when you have some offspring and when they come into the world, how you going to help them get a leg up in this society? If you ain't doing it for yourself, you ain't going to do it for them. And this is why I always say most people today don't care about their kids. They don't care about their kids. You know, they drop the kids off at the daycare center, which is school. School is the modern daycare center today. You know, school's out now. So a lot of parents stressing. Oh, God. What did he want? I got to cook some food. Yeah. They can't wait till school comes back so they can drop the kids off at the daycare center. Some of these people are horrible, man. This is the only country I know of where the kids get blamed when they don't get a proper education or when they can't read and write. The kids get blamed for it. They don't blame the teacher. They don't blame the parents. The kids get blamed for it. And people tolerate that nonsense here. That's why when a lot of these kids grow up, they get the hell away from their parents. Because they know their parents wasn't worth a damn and their parents didn't care about them. And they get the hell on. A lot of them go in the military or go to college and never go back home. They might go to visit, but they don't respect their parents. Because the parents didn't teach them anything. All they did is ridicule them and tell them what they couldn't do and didn't teach them anything. But somehow you automatically supposed to go out and learn something in this crazy world. That's why a lot of young people ain't rocking with old people today. Because a lot of young people have enough sense to know that a lot of old people ain't worth a damn. They ain't. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Either you're running free or you're running scared. But you can't do both. Like, share this episode. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to get my best-selling book on Amazon.com. I'm out.